Okay, I'm back again. I just wanted to do a little brief stint on yet another morals video. Sorry to be doing so many of these, but it's a topic that generates so much interest, and I get so many responses via comments and PMs and all sorts of things that address various things related to religion and morals, particularly Christianity and morals. And I just wanted to do another little quickie stint on a couple of the points that were addressed before. So, one thing I wanted to, I guess, have a bit of a rant about, I suppose, is the number of people that say that the Bible says that homosexuality is wrong, and therefore that's why they think that homosexuality is wrong, that it's a sin. Well, if you're going to go on that regard, then you'd say that also that slavery is cool, and there's nothing wrong with slavery, because there are more instances, way more instances, of slavery being condoned in the Bible than there are homosexuality being condemned. And even in most of the instances of homosexuality being condemned, it's relatively ambiguous as to exactly what they mean. Probably the most well-known and most widely used homosexuality quote is from Leviticus 18:22, which is, "Thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind, it is an abomination." Fairly obvious. That's from the Old Testament, and a lot of Christians say, you can't, Jesus came to replace this and, create a new following, etc., etc., which is a load of rubbish, because Jesus himself said that he hadn't come to replace the law, just to add to it and fulfill it. So on that ground, you can also take into account the whole rest of the Old Testament. Even if you don't, slavery is also talked about in the New Testament as well, in a few places. Much more explicitly, I think, than homosexuality in quite a few places. So Leviticus 25 verses 44 through 46 says that you can buy slaves as long as they're from a different race and they live among you. Exodus 21 verses 2 to 6, you can buy a male slave, and if you give him a wife and kids, then the man can go free, but the wife and kids can't. However, if the man chooses to stay, then he'll be your slave forever. Blackmail much? Exodus 21 verses 7 through 11, it's quite interesting, because it says that when a man sells his daughter as a slave, she will not be freed at the end of the 6 years as the men are. So again, that's inequality. If she does not please the man who bought her, he may allow her to be bought back again. That's nice. He is not allowed to sell her to foreigners, since he is the one who broke the contract with her. And if the slave girl's owner arranges for her to marry his son, forced marriage, he may no longer treat her as a slave girl, but he must treat her as his daughter. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? If he himself marries her and then takes another wife, he may not reduce her food or clothing or fail to sleep with her as his wife. Right, so he can buy as many sex slaves as he wants, as long as he feeds them, clothes them, and screws them. Great. Fantastic morals right there, and fantastic example of slavery being okay, and treatment of female slaves in particular. But, if you're still one of these Christians that says, no, the Old Testament doesn't count, the New Testament is the one you've got to listen to, well, how about Ephesians 6:5? Slaves, obey your earthly masters with deep respect and fear. Serve them as sincerely as you would serve Christ. Right, there you go. 1 Timothy 6 verses 1 to 2. Christians who are slaves should give their masters full respect, so that the name of God and his teaching will not be shamed. If your master is a Christian, that is no excuse for being disrespectful. You should work all the harder because you are helping another believer by your efforts. Teach these truths, Timothy, and encourage everyone to obey them. So there you go. I'm pretty sure that you can find plenty of examples within history where slavery was then the norm, that Christians actually used these two verses, amongst others, to justify keeping slaves. And it just illustrates my point further, that it is society and culture that dictates morals, not your religion, because I'm pretty sure you can cherry pick, well, probably any point of view, more or less, from the Bible. You can probably find quotes to back up most stances on most things, and it just doesn't make any sense. There's no hard and fast rule, and if there was, then people today would be thinking that it's absolutely fine to keep slaves, and people today would think it's absolutely fine to stone people to death for disrespecting their parents or committing adultery. And even regarding the New Testament, there's various things in there that are very similar to the two examples, the slavery examples that I just gave, where people should be treated badly or people should be treated poorly. I mean, who expects women to cover their head in church? And yet Paul says it quite explicitly in his letters to the Corinthians. Women must cover their head in church, or else they must shave their head. But shaving your head is disrespectful, so instead, don't do that, cover your head. When he finally makes his mind up, that's pretty much what he's saying. So it just goes to show that you don't get your morals from the Bible. Please, just admit it. You don't. Because if you did, then, well, I don't see how you can, because everyone would have a different moral point of view, because you can back up pretty much any point. And secondly, why pick homosexuals and not start trying to bring back slavery? If it's really a biblical issue and not a cultural issue, why that? Just throwing that one out there. Let me know what you think. Please leave comments. Comments and emails. I really don't mind. Just, video responses. Send me anything you want. Okay? And I will see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.